Scarlet and Maze. I'm Adam.
I'm Zack.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Michigan 28, Arkansas State 18. Honestly, really, this was like 28-3, and then Michigan put in their third string. Whatever. Yeah. Honestly, nothing about this game changed my outlook for the season. Michigan ran better against a really bad defense, and then showed more that any version of Cade McNamara would be an upgrade at quarterback over what they've got currently able to play. I mean, honestly, I'm like Jaden Davis, but Jaden Davis wants to redshirt. He has said the whole time he wants to redshirt. It might not be good for his development to go in with the line playing like this. I don't know.
It's interesting that it's not often you hear that from a player that they want to redshirt.
Yeah, not these days. It was 28-3 when Michigan's third string defense came in, gave up a couple of scores really late, including the last one with a 2-point conversion with 8 seconds left. Who cares?
They almost blew it.
Almost blew it. Michigan has USC next. It's funny because they tried an onside kick after two, and I was like, "What are you like? You're gonna try a Hail Mary to lose by one score?"
Hey,
I just feel like it's at some point just give up. Michigan has USC next, with LSU stealing a game because of the wussification of quarterbacks and not being allowed to block them while they run to try to make a tackle after a hilarious interception. If you didn't see it, Nussmeier threw a pick and then was running towards where he thought the returner was going to go, and the defensive lineman shoved him. He didn't light him up. He didn't shove him. He pushed him real hard, but he pushed him with his hands. Nussmeier laid on the ground like he had just witnessed a Mel Tucker FaceTime or something, and I don't know what that means, but whatever. So instead of a touchdown, it was their ball at the 10, and then they got stopped, and then they lost to LSU. But whatever. Doesn't really matter. Yeah. A win would obviously put Michigan at 3-1, but I think it would also raise the ceiling again, but probably not back up to 10-2, which is where I had them before.
Right.
And a loss will cement 8-4 as the ceiling for the year, which is pretty terrible.
You think they would only get 2 more losses the rest of the year? I guess that'd be the ceiling. Yeah.
Yeah, the ceiling, not the prediction necessarily, but whatever. At least Michigan is coming off a national championship, and they aren't Florida State. Florida State is the first preseason top 10 team ever to start the next year 0-3 against 3 unranked opponents. From getting unfairly kept from the playoff last year to the embarrassing loss in their bowl game to now having made history for how bad their start is.
Yeah,
I feel okay.
Yeah, I think it's fun to make fun of them and all of that, but I still think they should have been in the playoff last year.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
it's dumb that they weren't in. Even if they were going to get killed, who cares? They
probably
still
beat
deserved
Michigan.
It. Stop.
That's who they would have played, right? Alabama took their spot, right? Michigan was 1, Alabama was 4.
Maybe, yeah. I don't think they would have scored, but
Florida State probably would have won.
Okay. Pick standings. I went 14-1 because I changed my score on the show live. So you said 3, so I go, okay, 7.
Oh,
so I got the bonus point. I have 87.5%. You're 85.7%.
Was the game of the week last week?
I don't even remember, to be honest. I think it was the LSU game. No, maybe not. Who cares? I don't know. I'm ready for basketball season.
Are you?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Until they start playing, then we'll see. One step further take. What do you got?
Mine is Indiana could be a sleeper to sneak into the Big Ten championship game with how well they've played and how easy their schedule is.
Yep, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I get into something in the things no one's talking about this too, so I don't want to spoil that.
Mine is that Michigan State dodged a bullet not hiring Luke Fickell, which I said last week as a joke, but now I'm serious. Or maybe he would have fit right in, because in the words of Spartan legend and Spartan dog for life Mel Tucker, he is a horseshit football coach right now. Wisconsin's a MAC team. This is ridiculous. Luke Fickell sucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's Bama, and It's easy for games like that against teams like that to get away from you, especially if you're pretty mediocre. I didn't expect anything better than that, really.
Oof.
From Wisconsin against Bama
And
this point.
that's the Luke Fickell reality. Big Ten takeaways. For probably the first time in my life, but definitely for the first time since right before the national championship last season, I may have been wrong about Washington. So they might actually be as bad as Michigan made them look last season. Just so we're on the same page, undefeated Michigan played Washington in the national championship and only gave up one touchdown against one of, if not the best offense in the country, and they won 34-13 to be the only team to start and finish the year undefeated. One of, I think, 5 teams to go 15-0 ever. Anyways, Washington sucks.
Yeah.
Is my Big Ten takeaway. I was wrong about them.
Yeah. My Big Ten takeaway is I missed Ohio State football. Ohio State is the Big Ten right now.
There were like 3 or 4 times during the day I was like, when does Ohio State play? Oh, they don't.
Yeah, dude.
But whatever.
But luckily I was moving anyway, so it's not like I kind of had a busy day anyway, so it kind of worked out timing-wise. But I still wish I could have watched some Ohio State football play.
I get it. From Ohio State football to the rapid-fire turd pile picks. Charlotte at Indiana. Indiana, favored by 28 points.
Wow.
I wonder when the last time was that Indiana football was favored by 28 points in a game. But I didn't have time to look it up.
I got Indiana. Yeah.
Villanova, Maryland. Kent State at Penn State. This is why this is the turd pile.
Yeah.
UCLA at LSU.
Sucks that we're going to witness 2 weeks in a row of the SEC smoking a Big Ten team, but both are very trash Big Ten teams. But.
Yeah. Northwestern at Washington. I still got Washington.
Oh, I got Northwestern.
I thought about Northwestern, but I got Washington.
I just don't think Washington State's that good, and they just lost to them.
It's true. This is a bounce-back game for old Jed Fish.
Right.
Iowa favored by 2.5 at Minnesota. Again, Iowa favored by more than they'll score. That's crazy.
Yeah, Minnesota hasn't allowed a point since their Week 1 loss to North Carolina.
Yeah.
They should have won, but...
I got Minnesota.
Yeah, I've got Minnesota as well.
Michigan State at number 24, Boston College.
You got Michigan State?
No, I got Boston College.
I've got Boston College as well.
Purdue at Oregon State. I got Oregon State.
I also have Oregon State.
There you go. Varsity Games, Rutgers at Virginia Tech. I got Rutgers.
I got Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech's favored by 4.5.
I thought they looked good against
At
Old Dominion
home.
last week. I thought Old Dominion would give them a scare, and they kept it close till about halftime, but then Virginia Tech just pulled away. So.
Number 24, Illinois. Way to go, Brett Bielema.
Yeah.
At number 22, Nebraska. I got Nebraska.
I've also got Nebraska.
Probably by more than 8.5, to be honest. But
That's what the spread is?
yeah. Marshall at number 3, dropping in the polls, Ohio State.
They were number 3 last week.
Thought there were 2.
No, because Texas jumped them when they beat
Oh,
Michigan.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Whatever. Who cares? Football's an illusion now. It doesn't matter. I don't know what that means. I just hate life. Ohio State favored by 39.5. I got Ohio State.
Yeah, I got Ohio State. Probably did by that much.
Yeah. Number 11, USC. At number 18, Michigan. You got USC?
Yeah, I got USC.
Sharon Moore announced today that Alex Orji is going to start at quarterback. I mean...
I think that's what just made me yawn.
I feel like at this point I need to play for the win, for the pick standings more than I need to stand up for my team. Because I try to be realistic. I got USC. I don't know much to say about the game. Hopefully Alex Orji throws the ball more than one time, and hopefully he completes it to his own team. And I hope that Michigan wins.
Yeah.
I'll believe it when I see it. Which is crazy, coming off a 15-0 season and then one loss, and I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it that you can win against a good team.
Is it crazy though?
Man. Game of the week, number 6, Tennessee, favored by 7.5 at Oklahoma, who's 15th in the country. I got Tennessee.
Yeah, I got Tennessee. They're a team I picked to make the Final Four. So
Here,
I'll
pick my score first because you did last time.
They had 66 or 65 at halftime against Kent State, I think, whoever they played last week.
Yeah.
And could have easily scored 120 points. I got them. I think they'll win by 14 against Oklahoma.
I got them by 7. Dang. Things no one's talking about. What do you got?
According to ESPN, going back to Indiana now, according to ESPN analytics, they have a higher than a 50% chance to win 11 of their the rest of their games except for against Ohio State. So, according to ESPN analytics, they could go 11-1 this year, which is insane to think about with Indiana. Which they have a relatively easy schedule. I think the only other ranked team they play other than Ohio State is Michigan, at this moment, but their ESPN analytics has them having a pretty decent chance of beating Michigan, which is wild. But yeah, so Indiana. I actually have 2, but you can do yours.
Yeah, sure. Mine is Jesse Minter's Los Angeles Chargers are holding teams to 6.5 points per game through 2 games. There were multiple times on Saturday where I said I miss Jesse Minter, just in a group text with other Michigan fans, Michigan friends. And I also said at one point, every time Donovan Edwards carries the ball, I miss Blake Corum even more. And Donovan Edwards had a pretty good game. There were still also just, whenever I see him carry the ball, I go, Corum would have cut here. Corum would have waited here. Corum would have. Corum was just.
Corum had a good kick return this weekend.
Did he? I didn't see it.
Can we talk about how, this is off script for me at least, Aiden Hutchinson just wants to be a Bosa so bad. I never really noticed because I just saw a picture of him after his 5-sack game this weekend. Impressive for him. But he's number 97, which I always thought was kind of weird. But then he's got a picture of him going like this. Does he just want to? He probably wanted to go to Ohio State. Did they?
He did compare himself after, like when he was preparing for the draft, whatever, and they'd say, give your best comp or whatever, you know. He compared himself, I think, to Nick, maybe Joey. He compared himself to one of the Bosas.
Yeah, he could maybe be almost as good as one of them someday.
Yeah.
But yeah, my other one is Kentucky is like bad. Like they're not a good football team at all. And Georgia, nobody's talking about how Georgia squeaked out of that game. They got very lucky. They won by 1 point. And at one point, Kentucky, I forget exactly what the score was at the time, but Kentucky had a 4th and short and decided to kick the field goal. And I was like, they're going to regret that. And then, of course, they did.
That is one thing that I did want to talk about in the from the Michigan-Arkansas State game is friggin' Butch Jones, champion of life. That was right before he got fired from Tennessee. He was like, we're going to be champions of life. And it was like, goodness, that's Brady Hoke type nonsense. They had it 4th and 1, I think, inside the red zone. It was really like 4th and half of a yard. They kicked a field goal, hits the upright, no good. Later in the game, 4th and 1, they kick a field goal, goes off the upright, no good.
Dang.
Play to win the game, man. Like, you, especially the first one, you were driving the ball. You were bailed out by a couple penalties, but, like, you're moving the ball. You can't get half a yard?
Yeah.
I don't know. You play to win the game. I obviously wanted Michigan to win. I was still, like, incensed that he kicked that first field goal. Like, play to win the game. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Especially a matchup like that, or even especially the Kentucky-Georgia matchup. Like, that late in the game, you have a lead, your defense has played well. Don't just settle for a field goal.
No.
Go and get a first down. Dude, the momentum that would have carried for them, and if they went and scored a touchdown too, like,
just insane.
We could be talking about Georgia losing right now, and instead they kicked a freaking field goal. And nobody cares that they almost lost.
Nope. SEC. Tweet of the week from @MGoHumor. Trying some deep breaths and meditation mantras after today. We're still the defending champs. We're still the defending national champs. We're still the defending national champs. We're still the defending national champs. We could be Florida State.
What do you think that there is a chance that if you guys played Florida State's schedule to a T that you could be 0-3 right now?
No.
Interesting.
But who knows? Who cares?
Because they lost to Boston College, Georgia Tech, and Memphis, right?
Yeah.
Memphis is probably the one that they might have a chance of beating.
I think that beat Georgia Tech too, at least. But I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
I don't have a tweet of the week because I'm taking a little social media break from Twitter, and so
Social media break just from Twitter.
yeah, just from Twitter.
With that, we'll see you next week. Until then, go Alex Orgy. Come on, bud.
Go Buckeyes.